Hello everyone, and welcome to the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Care Network. I'm Dean, the host of the N.A.R.C.N Network and channel, and also the host of the Unmasking the Narcissist channel. Today I'm going to be presenting to you episode 202 on the N.A.R.C.N Network, and the title of episode 202 is Narcissists Never Heal. Now, this video is actually being prompted by something I saw a couple of days ago. I was watching some other narcissistic experts on the internet, as well as I was watching some self-proclaimed narcissist channels as well. And there was a rather famous, well-proclaimed or self-proclaimed narcissist that I was watching that particular day, and some of you guys out there will probably know this person. I'm not going to mention his name at all, but he's pretty well known in the circles as being a diagnosed narcissist, and he talks a lot about his life and the things that go on within the confines of his narcissism. And I have to admit, his channel is a very good channel to watch, although I don't agree with all of the things that he says. I think that pretty much 90% of his information is accurate for his particular position and what's going on with him within the confines of his narcissism. Now, that being said, there are some people who commonly write often on the channels of this narcissist and some other ones that are out there, and a lot of the dialogue that I see is often coming from another narcissist who is commenting on a particular narcissist channel, and the narcissist will be like, oh, well, you know, I decided to come out as a narcissist, and I decided to, you know, seek a treatment or seek therapy or whatever. It's been a long road. It's been 7 years or maybe longer, whatever a particular person has been stating. And you know, it's been a long road for me to actually go down the road of recovery. I'm so much better now, and I'm in a position where I've recovered from my narcissism. No, you have not. Nobody who is a narcissist ever fully recovers from their narcissism. It does not happen. There are narcissistic experts out there, as well as some narcissists who are narcissistic experts, like H.G. Tudor. If you look at these individuals, if you look at people who are the godfathers of investigating narcissism, if you look at Professor Sam Vaknin and what he says about this, if you look at Jordan Peterson, if you look at a myriad of other psychological experts out there who study narcissism, who study personality disorders, they will all tell you, you never recover from narcissistic personality disorder. Never. You learn to get a hold on it, just like an alcoholic learns to get a hold on drinking, just like a drug addict stops doing drugs and then stays clean. These people will get a hold on their narcissism, and perhaps they will learn to stop using their narcissism against other people. But are they cured? No. Are they healed? No. They will have to watch these behaviors, just like an alcoholic, just like a drug addict does, for the rest of their lives, to ensure that they do not inflict their narcissistic ways on others. So when I see narcissists commenting on pages and going, oh, you know, I went through a long road to recovery and I'm healed now. No, you are not healed. There is no such thing as being healed when you're a narcissist. In fact, as we've talked about on the N.A.R.C.N Network before, less than 1% of all narcissists ever seek treatment or are ever even successful with their treatment. 99.3% of narcissists, to be exact, never even follow through with the treatment. They go to it for a little while because they have to, because family is pushing them, because their spouse is pushing them, because they have to figure out some way to basically calm down the situation or make other people's around them. This goes on with married narcissists who are out there. They have to just figure out some way to calm down their spouse, so they go to therapy, they go to treatment, for a very short period of time. They don't take it seriously because, of course, they don't think that there's anything wrong with them, but most narcissists don't think that there is anything wrong with them, and this goes for a couple of the other personality disorders as well, too, that are intertwined with NPD disorder, and we've talked about those in previous videos. Those include bipolar disorder, antisocial personality disorder, histrionic disorder. There's a list of them that are intertwined with that, that are intertwined with NPD disorder. But narcissists, when they seek treatment, less than 1% of them ever are successful in really changing themselves. And I see this on the N.A.R.C.N network constantly with the people I deal with. There's a massive amount of people I deal with off the network who are constantly telling me about what's going on with the narcissists in their lives, and the factor that, oh, well, you know, they went to therapy and they're 2 years through therapy and I don't really see any improvement. They're still behaving the exact same way they used to, or they're being a little bit nicer, but they're still having, you know, aggressive outbursts. They're still trying to rule. They're still trying to control everything like this. It takes a massive amount of time for a narcissist to actually even start to understand what's wrong with them and start to change this. I just did a video on this recently where we talk about the factor that it can take anywhere from 2 to 7 years for a narcissist to even gain some moderate control of their narcissism so they don't mess up other people. And this is all provable by science. I study a massive amount of science to do with narcissism on a weekly basis. It's ridiculous the amount of work I do sometimes looking into stuff and looking into the modern ideas behind narcissism. Sadly, there are a lot of narcissistic experts out there who are great experts who are not even aware of some of the current studies going on with narcissism that indicate that narcissism is prevalent in all of the personality disorders. In fact, the personality disorders like bipolar disorder and those other ones that I mentioned earlier in the video here, these may just be secondary aspects of narcissistic personality disorder. They all tag along with each other, and they're all part of each other in some particular way where they overlap as far as their behaviors that people have with them and the way that people manifest these disorders. And this is all part of the modern study of narcissism that's going on that I follow. I mean, I look into stuff. I look into all the modern literature coming out of Oxford University's psychological or psychology departments. I look at stuff that's going on in Johns Hopkins on a constant basis. This has become almost an obsession in my life to study this stuff. And when I see people making statements like they're healed after being a narcissist, this is absolutely ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. Narcissists don't heal. They learn to control their narcissism. Here's 2 ways to look at this, which are the best ways to look at this. Either a narcissist learns to control their narcissism through some therapy or from psychological help or something of this nature, and they improve, they get better, they learn not to put their narcissism on other people, not to abuse people, not to take advantage of them, not to live their lives as a narcissist, and they affect some change. But again, less than 1% of narcissists do this. I also know some narcissists from my network and also from some other personal experiences with other people who have talked to me about their narcissistic events, because I don't only deal with people on the narcissism network or on the N.A.R.C.N network. I deal with people who I know through word of mouth and friends and other people and acquaintances and stuff. I deal with a ton of people who have narcissistic problems or who have narcissism themselves. And commonly, another thing that we hear that happens here is that when a narcissist is made aware that they are a narcissist, if they don't know that they already are, or when they study narcissism to some degree, one of the things it does with them is makes them a better narcissist. And I've seen instances of this going on. I've got instances of this going on with people around me that I can use as real-time examples of this. And often studying narcissism or becoming aware of this, or when the narcissist starts to study what their narcissism is, all it does is make them an even more apex predator to get victims into their fuel matrix. Often becoming aware, studying narcissism, knowing what's going on with them, knowing how they present to people, knowing what they have to do to present to people in a good light, this just turns them into an even better narcissist. And this is sadly one of the truths that goes on within the confines of narcissism and within the confines of actual narcissistic therapy. I have some narcissists around that I'm dealing with that I know, I know that they have narcissism. I know that they have NPD. They don't seem to think that they have NPD, or they're not admitting that they have NPD, but truly I think that some of them just don't know or are not aware that they have narcissistic personality disorder, even though they suffer from bipolar disorder. They have anxiety disorder traits that are going on. They have other things that are going on within them. They have some degree of histrionic disorder that's going on with them. And we know that all of these disorders are interrelated with NPD. For those of you out there who don't know this, look this up. There's tons of information, tons of current information on the internet that shows where these things are related. And I can find this and I study it constantly at the moment here to try to keep up to date with the information that I've got for you guys that I'm presenting on the network. And this is just the case. This is the case with people who have some of these disorders. They indeed also have other disorders. They have not only bipolar disorder, but they also have narcissistic personality disorder to some degree on some level. And we can see this, or I can see this with the people that I'm dealing with. Like I was saying, any of these disorders, a lot of them are lifetime disorders. You're going to have to deal with a therapist or something to some degree probably for the rest of your lives. But definitely within the confines of narcissistic personality disorder, you're going to have to deal with a therapist the rest of your life, and you're going to have to watch yourself, just like a drug addict or an alcoholic has to watch themselves for the rest of their lives to make sure that they don't drink or they don't do drugs. And this is a reality of what goes on with narcissists and what goes on with some other personality disorders as well too. It's a very, very sad thing, but this is the reality, and this is one of the reasons why I chose to actually just do this video today, was just to talk a little bit about seeing some people out there who are former, or what they think are former narcissists, claiming that they've gone through therapy and they're now cured, or they've recovered from their narcissism. No, they have not. They have not recovered. They've learned to become better people, to not use their narcissism against others, and this is what's going on with them. They haven't recovered. They're not cured. That doesn't happen within narcissism. It just doesn't happen. If you look into what all the real experts say about this, the real ones who really, really are the hard heavyweights in psychology concerning narcissism, those people, those experts will tell you, you never recover from NPD. You're never cured from this. It just doesn't happen. So this was episode 202 on the N.A.R.C.N network. Just going to say to you guys, hope you guys stay tuned. I've got lots of new content coming up on the N.A.R.C.N network and on the Unmasking the Narcissist channel. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you really soon with some upcoming content.